Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So today I wanted to bring you an update to my Monarch deck. It of course does not play an extra deck, so it is a very, very budget deck. If you're looking for a fun deck to play that doesn't cost a lot, this is definitely one. It's a Tribute Summon based deck that is actually very powerful. Plays some really strong cards. And if you need any of them, of course, check my link in the description for TCG Player. It's a great place to get cards and to help out the channel. So let's get right into this. Starting with 3 Aether and 3 Erebus. Now, since these have been released, Aether has actually gone on the limited list, but I still can't decide which one I like better. They're both extremely good. Now, basically, you can, when they're tribute summoned, you send 2 Monarch spell and traps with different names to your graveyard from your deck, and then they get different effects based off of that. But that alone gets kind of your engine going, because you can send cards like Pantheism, and of course the Prime Monarch, which we'll get to those. But Erebus will allow you to just shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand, graveyard, or their side of the field into the deck, so it doesn't target, doesn't destroy. It just shuffles into the deck. So it's really good. And then Aether, when you do that same effect, send 2 Monarch spell and traps, you can then special summon a monster with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense from your deck, but you have to return to the hand during the end phase. So you can do an Erebus, of course, and then tribute summon it out the following turn. And then this effect also has another effect as well, where during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you can just banish a Monarch spell and trap from your graveyard, and then you can tribute summon this card. Really nice. And then Erebus actually, during either player's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you just discard a Monarch spell and trap, target 1 monster in your graveyard with 2400 or more attack and 1000 defense, and add it to your hand. So it's your way of, if you have no monsters that you can special summon, or tribute summon, you can then add himself back to your hand. So they're both, again, perfect for the deck. Really, really good. And then another big one I'm playing is Thestalos. Just one. It's really just good in certain instances, and you can search any of these out pretty easily. But this one, when you tribute summon it, you look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand. If it was a monster card, you'll deal damage to your opponent equal to his level times 200. So that is very good for getting information from your opponent, see what deck they're playing, and get rid of maybe a hand trap that might affect you. So Thestalos, nice card. Then we're playing 2 Curaz. This is a decent card to special summon off of Aether, because you can either destroy 2 targets on your opponent's field or destroy 2 on yours. And the reason you would destroy them on yours is so you get to draw power, and then your opponent gets to draw 1 for each card you destroy on them. But if they're important cards, then it doesn't matter too much if you have them draw. But usually you prefer to have pop, some of your face-up spells or something like that, your continuous spells. So you just get some really good draw power out of this. And then we're playing also 2 Vanity's Fiend and 2 Majesty's Fiend. Now, even though this one does have 2400 attack and 1000, it cannot be special summoned, so you can't special summon it off of Aether. But when you tribute summon these guys, Vanity's Fiend, neither player can special summon monsters, and then Majesty's Fiend, monster effects cannot be activated. So either of them are really, really nice to get out, and they're very easy to get out with this deck. And then to get all these guys out, you need some type of tribute fodder. And so we play 2 Edia, 2 Eidos, 1 Mithra, and 2 Proof of Prooffless. Now I'll go through all of these. So Edia, when it's normal or special summoned, you can just special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck. So usually that's going to be Eidos. Because when he is special summoned, you can tribute 1 monster in addition to your normal summon. So generally, it's like normal summon this, special summon this, and then you can still tribute summon because of Eidos' effect. So that is really cool there. And then Mithra, you just special summon this from your hand, and then special summon a vassal token to your opponent's field. And then if it's tributed for a tribute summon, you gain an additional normal summon. So that's again kind of cool. And then similar effect with Proof of Proofless. But this one, if you control no special summon monsters, which you really won't most of the time, you can just special summon this from your hand, and then you can't special summon for the rest of the turn, which is again usually okay. And then if this card is normal or special summoned, immediately after this effect resolves, you can tribute summon one monster. So let's say, for instance, you open up, I don't know, these two guys. I mean, this would be crazy, but let's say you open up maybe just something like this, which is not too out of the ordinary. So you normal summon, then special summon Eidos. Then you could always tribute summon them for Erebus, get all his effects off, and then you control no special summon monsters, so you can special summon this, and then immediately after that, then you can tribute summon that for Vanity's Fiend. So basically you get 2 tribute summons, 3 normal summons basically. Really cool. So that's the reason for playing those guys. And that is actually it for the monsters. So let's go into the bulk of the deck with the spells. By far the best one ever printed for the deck is Pantheism. You want to either have this card in your hand or get it to the graveyard. Basically, if you have it in your hand, you just send 1 Monarch spell and trap from your hand to the graveyard and draw 2 cards. And then you can banish this from your graveyard, reveal 3 Monarch spell and traps from your deck, and your opponent randomly chooses 1 for you to add to your hand. So you can reveal the same thing. You know, if you banish that from your graveyard, reveal 3 domain, your opponent has to give you a domain. Doesn't say it has to be different. So yeah, really good draw power. You can use that draw effect more than once per turn. So if you open multiples and multiple, you can activate Pantheism, ditch domain, draw 2, and then activate this Pantheism, ditch another Monarch spell and trap, and draw 2 again. You can only use the banish effect once per turn, but that draw effect alone just really helps the deck out. And then on to basically the main reason we don't play an extra deck. I mean, you don't need to anyway, but this card just shuts down a lot of decks. If you have no cards in your extra deck and you're the only player that controls a tribute summon monster, your opponent cannot special summon from the extra deck. And if a tribute summon monster you control attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 800 attack during damage calculation. And then once per turn, you can reduce the level of 1 monster with 2800 and 1000 defense from your hand by 2. So that would basically make it so that Erebus or Aether or Thestalos, you can lower their levels to level 6, so then they only need 1 monster for the tribute summon instead of 2. So that is helpful at times. And then we also are playing 3 Monarch Stormforth. This card is really, really good. So if you would tribute summon a monster, you can just use one of your opponent's monsters for the tribute summon. So that's just another way of just getting rid of a monster without destroying it, without targeting it, anything. Because you're basically just using it, kind of like a kaiju. You just tribute that. Same thing with Monarch Stormforth. And it's a quick play, so you can use it, for like Aether's effect that allows you to tribute summon on your opponent's turn, and then this would allow you to tribute a monster your opponent controls. So these in combination on your opponent's turn is sometimes just really crazy. And then we play 3 Tenacity. You just have to reveal basically a tribute summonable monster from your hand. So reveal any one of these, and you can then just add a Monarch spell and trap from your deck to your hand. Normally that's going to be Pantheism, either Pantheism or Domain, or any of these. Just search any of them. Then we also are playing 2 Return of the Monarchs. So this is basically a search card for your monsters when you tribute summon. It'll allow you to search out, again, any of these if you tribute summon while this is on the field. And it's also, I like it a lot because of Curaz. When you summon out Curaz, you can always get the search and still pop this on its summon to then draw a card and search. So that's really nice to have those. And then I'm choosing to play 1 March of the Monarchs. It's just a way, getting out of Vanity's Fiend with March allows us to not be able to be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So they can still get around it, but not very easily. But yeah, that's why I like that. And then for the traps, playing 3 Monarchs Erupt. It's just a really good card. If you control a tribute summon monster, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field. And the final card we're playing are 2 Prime Monarch. Basically, you just want this in your grave. That's the main way you're going to use it. And then you can just banish 1 other Monarch spell and trap from your graveyard. And then special summon this. So it's just more tribute fodder. Or just a 2400, body monster that is, a trap. So that is the deck, guys. There's no extra deck, of course, because of, Domain of the Monarchs. But yeah, it's a really, really budget deck. Really fun. I think still a viable strategy. Nothing that's going to destroy the meta or anything, but definitely a fun deck you can take to locals and probably win a few matches with. So yeah, thanks for checking this out, and we'll catch you on the next one.